Audio 12.7.
What did you think of Professor Glazanoff's talk?
For the most part, I thought it was very interesting, especially the bit about using rooms. I actually used that technique last year for my final exam.
So, how does it work exactly? In that section, I got a bit lost. He went so fast.
Well, the idea is that if you want to remember a lot of different things in order, you imagine yourself in a big house, and each room represents something you want to remember. Or it could be each item in a room represents something. So, let's take the bones of the hand. You have to remember them for a test or something. You associate, say, a vase with the first bone, then a mirror with the second bone, and so on.
So, how does that really help?
Well, when you want to recall the names, you imagine yourself in the house, and when you see the vase, it triggers your memory of the name of the bone. That's the theory anyway.
And does it work?
Up to a point, I think it does. What they don't tell you is how to remember the objects in the room. You have to keep the picture of the room in your head, and if you've got a lot of things to learn, well, it can get a bit complicated. What really interested me was the research about learning words, the stuff that seems to prove that there's not much difference between learning something by heart and repetition and using other methods.
Yes, but there was only one source he cited. What about the research on learning in chunks?
That was quite good, especially the bit about learning words in phrases. It appears that's how we remember names. If you can remember their first name, the surname is like part of a chunk, so you remember the name as a whole.
What did you think about the idea of mind maps?
It was good stuff, that. I use mind maps all the time.
Yeah, we had a lesson about them right at the start of the course. But it's good to be reminded about these things every now and again, just in case we forget about them.